Okay, so I'm gonna record this here right now. I'm at the top of a hill right now. I'm in San Francisco, and I moved here at the start of the pandemic. And before that, what this video is going to be about is basically what's changed in my life since I was 17. And I think I'll do this maybe every year, maybe every 2 years, depending on, I don't know, probably every year. But so I'm 18, it's New Year's Day 2021, which is a fucking trip. Last year didn't feel real, you know, I think everybody can relate to that. But just the fact that I'm living in the future that, you know, 60s writers and, you know, 60s like sci-fi authors wrote about is pretty fucking insane. That's dead end. So what's changed since I turned 18? I guess for starters, I've had a huge reset as to what matters to me. I want to pursue music as a career. I don't exactly know how, but everybody wants to be a rock star, and I would love to be a rock star in the modern sense, not literally. But I want to do a career in music. Right now, I'm at Santa Cruz, hopefully going for I don't see myself changing this, but a business econ degree, putting those skills towards a music career. I just put out my first EP yesterday, which is a collection of 5 songs, hip-hop, which again, I worked on it for like 8-9 months during quarantine, like the whole course of quarantine. And it was really difficult to do because I was starting college and then becoming an adult. I had moved out of my house again, like I said earlier, at the beginning of the pandemic. Had to be financially responsible for myself. And to do all that, and then not only a global pandemic, but realizing a lot about my family, or my home life, that was pretty negative, really kind of took a toll on me and made it really hard to finish that thing. But I finished it, and it feels really fucking good. To the friends who supported me through that, again, thank you so much. I think I've texted you all at this point, telling you how much I appreciate that and appreciate, the way you've been there for me. Again, words can't really explain how much I appreciate that. Without getting corny. Anyway, I finished that EP, put it out yesterday. Feel really good about that. But I went off on a tangent. That EP was a challenge to myself to actually finish something, because I think as I'm learning, I didn't grow up around too many artists. A lot of artists struggle with finishing shit, feeling confident in their work, of course. And I'd heard all of this before, but I didn't really internalize it. And through the pandemic and everything, it's really forced me to reassess my life and take, my art more seriously. Because for a period I got lost in the idea of doing it all for money. And while I would fucking love that, for money and attention, or attention for my music and money for my music, it's not the fucking reason why anybody does art, or anybody who loves their art should do their art. And I was about to make a decision to go to SoCal because I was kind of convinced about that fucking, cliche-ass dream of moving to LA or New York and making it, and I didn't have a fucking song written. So, huge. Pandemic was a good break check for me. It forced me to reassess a lot of the negative qualities that I have in, my creative process. So that EP, again, was a promise to myself that I'd just finish something, and I did it. But along with that, and I think a lot of people can relate to this, you're forced with all the character defects that you have because you can't distract yourself with people and things. And then along with that, again, I had to realize a lot of stuff about my family that's not too fucking pretty. And I feel basically gaslit about my childhood, so I've been trying to recover from that, but it's been really fucking difficult. And compared to when I was 17, I was very blindly confident, and 2019 was probably one of my favorite years of my life so far, because of how many just great experiences I had in jumping out of my comfort zone. But I was pretty naive, I can see now. And though now I feel a lot less confident in myself, a lot more self-conscious, generally pretty shitty, in a shitty mood. Now I feel, of course, better than, when I started realizing all this stuff, but even though all those sorts of, I've lost a lot of confidence that I had, it's because I've seen, I'm getting clarity. And it's the initial shock of that clarity. And I know that this is going to pass, but as I was walking up here, and I was just, thinking about and talking to myself about how I feel so fucking, just so low. And I don't have the best words for this right now, so bear with me. I didn't plan any of this except for the idea of the video. But I just feel like I could be doing so much fucking better for myself in terms of, going out and talking to people, like putting myself in these uncomfortable positions, which I have to be proud of myself in the ways that I have this past year, pandemic, even though the pandemic is going on, I have embraced a lot of uncomfortable situations and really challenged myself this year, but it never feels like fucking enough. And I'm just wondering, wow, I want to be, I know that I am the confident, charismatic person that I that I envision myself to be in the future. I know that that's in me, but it's really hard to, fake it till you make it when all you have is yourself. And that's the dilemma I'm faced with right now, because when I was supremely confident back in 2019, having all these great, very external experiences, the first time I ever really felt like an extrovert, I, didn't question all my decisions and all that sort of shit, didn't have any sort of fucking self-doubt, and it brought me a lot of great things, but again, deeply naive, and admittedly kind of a douchebag. I don't think I was the worst, but there's a lot of ways that I have realized I mistreated my friends and other people, and that since I've since mended those relationships, but I was a bit toxic, and I've had to realize my behaviors were toxic and then rectify that accordingly, and it's hard to accept that you did some shitty shit. And I feel like I trailed off but on that original point that I was trying to make, whatever it was, but yeah, looping back, that refocusing, definitely a huge thing. I feel like my attention is right where it should be. It's just I have all these issues of confidence, self-esteem, confidence, self-consciousness. All feels like it's holding me back, as well as not feeling like, not necessarily that I don't have enough friends, but that I have this desire for more quality relationships, and I know that that's not a fucking girlfriend or I don't even know what it is, but it's just I have this longing in myself that I know a lot of people my age definitely have and maybe can't articulate, but this longing for something greater, and it's painful. And as I walk up here and I'm filming this, I feel pretty fucking lonely. Pandemic aside, even though I'm in a place that I'm much happier, I'm a lot more mentally stable, You know, my foundation right now is fucking amazing. I feel fucking lonely, and there's just a part of me that feels fucking empty. And it's almost like anybody I do meet is somehow not enough, because I just expect, you know, some fix, and I know that that fix is not going to come from other people. But that's a bad habit of mine, is expecting that you know, that somebody is just going to come along and make me feel like I matter. Depressing as fuck, but I think everybody can relate to that. Whether they know it or not, I think everything I'm saying people can relate to. I know that I'm not alone in that. And that's something that I really had to learn this year, is that I am not, you know, it sounds so obvious, but a lot of the ways that I'm talking about and that I'm feeling, I know I'm fucking not alone in. And I've had to accept that, which was strange, because it's almost like I didn't want to let myself accept the fact that a friend called me up in the middle of that, and I admitted to her that I was filming this video, and it was kind of embarrassing. But anyway, I felt very hesitant to admit to myself for the longest time that, you know, there might be other people that feel fucking lonely and uncertain about the future and all this shit. And I would just chop all that up to being cliche when I read it, you know, from fucking Reddit posts online and shit. But, you know, that's a way that I've had to accept that I'm not unique, and that that's okay. In fact, that should make me feel more comfortable, but it doesn't, because this sort of isolation from people my age, it feels like I always just can't connect with them. It's lasted me like almost all my life, and I've only been able to articulate it up until maybe like last year. But again, so something that's changed is I've had to accept that I am not alone in feeling like I don't know what the fuck is going on, especially during the pandemic. Yeah, I don't know. I know I kind of rambled here, but big things, basically, to just sum it all up. Had a huge change of character, priorities, definitely refocused. I guess in terms of negative, it was a huge loss of the confidence I had. Confidence in new places. I feel like I didn't explain that. I feel like despite all the negative shit, I know that this is building real confidence and not confidence propped up by external experiences and other people, you know? Because I feel like that's what I was living off of when I was 17. Yeah, refocus. So let me just recap for myself. Refocusing on priorities. Assessing of character, inventory, all that shit. Becoming much more of an individual. I have always been individualistic, but becoming much more of an individual, but also recognizing when I can ask for help. Big thing that I never really did prior to this year. Yeah, and guess general headspace right now, feeling very disillusioned about the state that the world is in, not necessarily because of all the chaos or anything, but mostly because of how it's fucking dystopian to me, how much technology plays into our interactions. And you know, it's almost like we're only texting each other and fucking on dating apps and, you know, liking each other's pictures and shit, all for dopamine. And it's fucking scary. You know, it's just we're quite literally all addicts. And that is me included. Been trying to step away from it all. But I kind of for, you know, releasing that musical project, kind of relapsed. And, you know, I was sending the project to some people that I know and trying to promote it a little bit, and had to go back on Instagram to do that. I feel like I fucking relapsed because I was off of Instagram for a good, like, I'd like to say 2 months, but maybe I'd say a month. But yeah, that scares me. So I feel scared in that regard, in terms of thinking about how technology is going to continue to alter how we perceive the world, how we perceive each other, how we, you know, connect with each other. And, you know, that's another reason why I feel so, I guess, insecure about building relationships right now, because so much of it seems to just be happening online, and I don't fucking want that. I want the opposite. I really do want to prioritize meeting people in person, and I've been trying to do that. It's just everything, you know, all these external circumstances, pandemic, it being fucking cold and wintertime, really makes that difficult. But I know that's all a mental battle too. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end that there. It's pretty much what's changed since I was 17. I turned 19 in 30 days, and I feel like I only just really turned 18. I think that's always something we can relate to, huh? Yeah. New Year's 2021. Let's conquer, baby.